Hey guys, welcome back to week 30 of the MIT Challenge, which is to learn MIT's 4-year computer science curriculum in 12 months without taking any classes or even being enrolled in MIT. Today I want to talk about how do you learn a class when you don't have access to the lectures. So MIT has lots of classes that are very well supported. So you have the lecture videos, assignments, exams, recitations, access to special other demos and videos and projects. But they also have way more classes which maybe don't have the lecture videos, or they don't have all of the slides, or they only have some of the assignments, or only some of the solutions. And so this can really be a big difference. If you're able to learn a class when you just have a textbook or some course notes instead of the lecture videos, then the amount of topics that you can learn at the MIT level or at the Ivy League college level without having to pay for a class or actually enroll in that class if you want to learn the information becomes much, much larger. So the actual library of MIT courses you can learn if you're comfortable learning with a textbook is way more vast than if you're only comfortable using lecture videos. And the surprising thing to me is that I thought, as many of you have thought emailing me, that learning from a textbook would be much harder or more difficult to learn than going through lecture videos. And I've just found for myself that that isn't the case. So I've already done several classes which have not had lecture videos. They've just had a textbook or some course notes. And what I've found is that what makes a class difficult or easy has very little to do with the format. So if I'm going to find a class difficult, it's not going to really matter whether I read it in a textbook or whether I take the lecture videos. What's going to matter is the mental work I do afterwards. So to put it another way, the way I'm doing these classes, so where you can actually really speed up the sort of ingestion of material process, the input of ideas, so that's listening to lectures or reading a textbook, is about maybe 20 to 25% of what matters in learning. The other 75% is doing practice problems. It's finding your weak points. It's creating connections between ideas and using techniques like the Feynman technique. It's those kind of tactics that come in after you've already read through the lectures or watched some of the videos. After you've gone through that, that's where the real learning work begins. And so a lot of people are kind of scared off by classes that don't have lecture videos, that you'd have to buy a textbook or that you'd have to download some course notes and actually do some reading. They're a little bit more afraid, even if they want to learn the ideas, of taking those kind of classes. And I found that it just doesn't really matter that much. So to give an example I'm doing right now, so I am doing 6013, Electromagnetics and Applications, and it's a very hard course. It uses a lot of advanced calculus and signals and systems knowledge and applies in the domain of physics, so it's lots of vector calculus. It's a difficult class. However, using these course notes, I'm able to learn through the class, I'm able to go through it and practice the problems, even though the class doesn't seem as well supported. So even though there aren't very many lecture videos or a lot of material, I can go through these course notes, I can understand the ideas, and then I can do the hard work or the real meaty work of learning the class, which is doing the practice problems, doing Feynman technique, doing all those things that come after actually reading or listening. So if you're interested in learning an idea, don't let the fact that a class just requires a textbook or requires some notes really turn you off. And actually, MIT's OpenCourseWare is often great because the textbooks that they recommend are often older editions. So you can buy them used for much, much cheaper than you're probably having to spend buying textbooks for your actual university courses. So thanks for following the challenge, and I'll be updating you guys in the future on my progress, results, and more free self-education resources. Thanks.